I lived with this weird roommate in a college dorm. I would have lived by myself, but it was cheaper to live with someone else. So, I did. At first, everything seemed fine. My roommate's name was Brian. He wasn't much of a talker. We both did our own thing and never really bothered each other. Well, at first I asked him if he wanted to go to parties with me or hang out or do something, but he always declined my offer. So I stopped asking him. My guess is that he would have been by himself if it wasn't cheaper to have a roommate. The most strangest thing about Brian is that he told me he can talk to ghosts. I asked him what he meant by that, and he told me that he could talk to dead people. This was the moment I knew Brian wasn't normal. I knew talking to dead people was impossible, and for him to actually think he could meant that he wasn't normal the slightest. When he told me that, I didn't want to be rude, so I smiled and said okay. I usually would see him in his room with candles and see him meditating, repeating phrases and words back to himself. I never really made out these words actually were. One day, Brian came over to me and said, "She misses you." I was really confused. I said, "Who misses me?" He said, "Your grandma Josephine." My eyes widened because I was in shock. I said to myself, how did he know about my grandma who passed away? And more weirdly, how did he know her name? I had to tell her at some point, I told myself, but I didn't remember telling him any of that. Just as things couldn't get any more weirder, he told me, "She misses you, BB." I took a deep swallow. How did he know this? This was my grandma's secret nickname for me, that only she and I know about, not even my other family. I was so weirded out that I moved out immediately. I live in another dorm with actually a normal person. I never saw Brian again, and to this day, I don't know how he knew all that information. Was he really talking to my dead grandma? What other possibility is there? Whatever it was, I wanted nothing part of it. From all the movies I've watched, I knew the dead are better on one side and alive are better on the other side. Who knows what would happen if they collab?